Names and rosters here as we start with Tarleton State Purple as Skippy, Sax Boy, Eugen, and Fitjack to round out this roster in the Challengers division. Like you mentioned, tons of talent to begin with, but of course, you know, when you have a young roster like we have here as Skippy and Fitjack, both freshmen coming in, freshmen, it's definitely, you know, a new experience trying to balance the school life with your Rocket League play, with the grind that at hand. It's a lot of things to keep up with, but luckily they've got Eugen, a freshman as well, so completely brand new team here. As Lurks on the bench here, a junior, Beasts on the bench as well as a junior. So at least they get the guidance from the bench, but either way, Tarleton State Purple, I mean, talk about already having a pretty decent start to this year. Imagine how they're going to be in the future. Of course, they'll have their challenge ahead of them, as UT Dallas is pretty special themselves.
And I mean, Tarleton State Purple are currently sitting at an 0-2 record. It's an immediate swap when you look at UTD Green, right? They're looking at a 2-0 current record, 6-2 in game score, and we got Swag for the win, AXD and Pyre to all come out here. And I mean, it's one of those moments that you talked about, the fact that, hey, it's a full freshman roster for the side of Tarleton. On this other side, I mean, we're also looking at some fresh faces, but I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing. We talk about freshmen, we talk about sophomores, but there's strength in these players. They've been playing for quite some time. A lot of these players, you know, they've also been playing against the top side, and I think that's the interesting thing about esports. You could be a freshman. Sure, you could be a freshman, you could be a sophomore, a little bit new to esports, not esports, but the collegiate side. You could have been playing for years, right? You could have, I want to say, deep sets of teams, right? You have a squad that, as you said, it competed in CRL, and it was very, very impressive. They had a very nice run, and in this current moment, you have the best practice partners. You get to play against some of the best out there, and that is something that, again, esports is a little bit different than traditional sports. You get to have that power behind it. You get to actually get up close to some of those, you know, players that maybe you idolize and actually learn from them. So it's a very interesting state. At the current moment, though, we are into game number 1. Tarleton State Purple looking for their first series win.
We'll have to do it against a team that's been incredibly strong. Like you mentioned, UTD Green may not be the first UT Dallas team, but in the Challengers division, they have been perfect. 2-0 so far. They dropped a game against UVU Whites. They've dropped a game against NMT Miners Red, but 2-3-1 best of 5 series is definitely a strong start. And right now, they are starting to turn it on as well as the Jets turn on, and they get a little bit of an extended stay on the offensive side, but a questionable touch will go backwards. I mean, everybody was pretty much committed forward there for UTD Green, and that allows the opportunity here from Skippy to step up right into the box, and Tarleton will be the first to get on the board.
I like it. Taking an opportunity. You see that little slide out. It was a little bit of a misdirect by UTD. I think they were hoping to clear it a little bit better than that. But, I mean, you're following up on your own pass, and Tarleton are just like, cool, thanks very much. We'll go ahead and grab that. Now, how often will they get that type of goal is the question. We've seen a lot of goals come by that were gifted over. You have to learn how to capitalize on those gifts.
Yeah, those opportunities are something you have to jump on, especially at this level. They don't happen as frequently, but you mentioned it at the top of this segment here, Orbital. They're going to be mistakes, and the opportunistic players are the ones that really shine at this league. Look at that shot. Also a pretty tough angle, too. Not a whole lot of defense happening for UTD Green, but still, Tarleton State says, I will take advantage of that every single time.
What is going on so far? You know, 1 goal can be just a misnomer, can be an outlier. 2 goals, you start getting a coincidence. At 3, you got a pattern, and at 4, things can get messy. So we're already halfway there, Bearlight, and I'm waiting for UTD Green's response, right? This is a squad that knows that they can play in this situation. Maybe their 1 loss usually comes in 1, and it's you know, it's pretty okay, but I'm just kind of sitting here a little bit confused. I would expect a little bit of fire coming out of the 2-0 squad.
That's exactly my thought. I mean, with the recent success in the 2-0 versus the 0-2 on paper, it would make more sense if Tarleton were to fall behind here. But look, as they're the ones constantly challenging. They're the ones in the face of UTD Green and not allowing them taking shots in places where they can really make a difference. And UTD Green's defense hasn't really been as positionally sound as we have seen in the past that really went into those 3-1 victories. However, you know, Tarleton State, they might be 0-2, but their challenges were a lot tougher through their first 2. So, You know, that's always the difference. It's not just about records, it's about strength of schedule in addition to it. And right now, Tarleton State Purple, a combination of that and being able to grow from those 2 losses have been very clear. And they've really forced UTD Green into some of the situations where they've made the mistakes in the first place. So you got to credit Tarleton State as well for taking advantage of those. Though a shot taken there from UTD Green, they could have really used a response there, but the shot was just wide.
Oh, the shot was wide, but the defense is good. Tarleton also ensuring that goal doesn't go in, and UTD are starting to scramble a little bit. AXD goes ahead and grabs one for themselves, and I mean, that's a good demo to hang on to. UTD need more than that. They need to get this control over the ball, and kind of curious, I would also like to see which roster has been coming out, you know, in the previous games and how they like to make it, because they do have 2, as you said, a couple of the members on the bench there, so you know, we'll see how that plays out. Right now, it's a good carry, though, in an open net. Easy goal by Swag FTW.
That's why they call him Swag. He's got a lot of it. I mean, all the way from his own side, right? Jack was so close to getting to that, too. It was, you know, up pretty early in the midfield, which is what they teach you, is to get in their face and challenge in midfield so you can keep the zone. So I didn't think that Jack played it too poorly. Maybe a little bit quicker of a decision would have went a long way. But what a play it was from UTD Green. It's more of what we expected from this team, so glad to see them starting to at least put pieces together something against this Tarleton State Purple. And in fact, you'll see AXD with a little bit more room. We'll leave it for Swag that's cut off in the process here at midfield. Fire gonna play it to himself. AXD able to jump on it next. Swag there. Shot taken, but Fit able to make a save.
Yeah. It's one of those moments, of course, that you're kind of choosing and selecting your shot, and you know, you chose low. The defenders were there as well, but it was a good attempt, and I like it. So right now, you got 40 seconds. This is doable. Very, very doable if you so wish. However, UTD Green cannot get ahead of themselves, or else they leave the girl open or taking out their own, and this might be that chance. No one else is really there. It's a good little punt out there. Tarleton really just playing interference, but a flick over the top and a pass over to Pyre. You can get under it. Would have been a goal. However, right now with 30 seconds left, it's do or die time for game number 1.
Yeah, they got that first on the board, which feels good. Don't get me wrong, but you got to add to it. And right now, Tarleton State Purple doing a good job of playing keep away to keep it away from UTD Green, and they'll have their work cut out for them right now. But Fitjack kind of gave away possession, an opportunity, but it's cut off immediately. Great job as Skippy continues to just kill some more of this clock. This will be a bouncer, though, and a stellar opportunity for Swag to step forward, but a good fake there from Fit. And it'll hit the ground here, and Tarleton State Purple will get out with their lives here in game number 1. UTD Green really down to the ground, but instead left it as a fake. I mean, that's a smart play in a moment where you could panic, especially with the way that UTD Green was knocking on the doorstep. So we'll see if they can continue that momentum. However, they are the last to strike in the goal column. And now we'll look to bounce into this one. And sure enough, AXD will put one in so quickly. 12 seconds in, and they've got the lead.
I mean, that's what happens after a steal, right? Especially one so early on. It's just, we didn't see it coming, and we had no way to respond. I think like a good 2/3 of the members of Tarleton were headed in the opposite direction. They weren't expecting that flyby to happen. Well played by UTD Green.
That quick start they needed in Tarleton State Purple. Now you get a little bit nervous. Might be natural, too. I mean, they're still able to get off the kickoff and try to find a response here. Skippy off that back wall. Fitjack was ready to pounce on it, but so is Pyre. This one will work its way back to AXD. He'll press forward off the corner, trying to get this read. Still stuck here in the corner, though, as Skippy was able to launch to it. Fitjack needs to be careful as he goes across the goal line. And AXD will turn it forward, shielded by Eugene, followed up by another member of Tarleton State Purple's defense, and they will move out of the zone here. 50-50 plays to corner. UTD Green is still knocking on the doorstep, but Tarleton State Purple can finally breathe.
It took a while. You know, they pushed the door. Now they're on the doorsteps, and you're just like, okay, we can do something here. UTD Green, though, they want to get this back under control, and unfortunately, Swag used most of the boost to try just maintain an advantage or maintain some semblance of safety. 2-man aggressive play so far. Now it's adding in the third. Tarleton not letting it get too out of control. However, the shot a little bit high, but a good block coming out by Skippy. Can't a save happen again, though? Will it occur? Dead ball, and I mean, this is a very, very quiet. That was by far the calmest we've seen all series, I think. And now that's just, as soon as the calm happens, like UTD Green, just take it and run.
You're a little too calm there after.
Yeah, I know. The ball sat there for a good like 15 seconds. I'm like, what?
Suddenly, out of nowhere, they're like, oh, we're going to both challenge at the same time, and then we're going to relax. And where was the third man? Was pressing forward. I mean, if you're going to have two members of your team commit, you kind of have to assume that you're going to push forward, but that was not the case. Look at this. It's staying on the goal line. Fire can't do anything with it.
Oh, my God.
Panic. Oh, no. The calmness completely taken out of the game, and UTD Green will get the lead back at least.
Look at this. Look at the mad scramble. Look at the mad scramble right there, and that one hurts, right? Swag, I mean, that felt bad. You knew you went the wrong direction. You touched it into your own goal, and now you're frustrated. Still, though, a 2-1 score for UTD Green. Not the worst thing in the world. You have had that aggressive stance so far. Probably keep up the pressure.
Yeah. Why don't we get a chance to relax? Team's maybe not showing that much. Skippy takes a shot. Nobody was back for that one, so it seemed pretty harmless on the surface, but somehow, you know, they're still able to dig out of what looked like a difficult situation. They scrambled back. Skippy looking to challenge as well, but this one is well met on the wall. Well, the Pirate moves forward, realizing the best play is back to his teammates. Love that decision making instead of just pressing forward for no reason, giving up possession. Look at that touch. That one's going to cause all sorts of chaos again from the defense. AXD, all you had to do was jump up and cause chaos with that touch. Look at that. His momentum all the way back towards his own end, and Fitjack was just puzzled.
It hurts. Almost physically, Bearlight. It hurts when you see goals like that, right? Because they feel avoidable. They feel like things can change, and now things are getting away here. AXD with the hat trick, 3 goals so far. And Tarleton, I mean, a horse can go only so fast. The Comets are streaking by right now.
They certainly are. I mean, Tarleton State's trying to do their best to keep up with it, but it's just, I mean, it's been all downhill at this point in time. That's 3 straight here. Fitjack trying to spark something here. That's a good way to do it. You'll find Eugen in the box to let him do the rest, and you'll get the assist here, just beating the defense. That's just speed. That's the decision-making that you need. They hop in the box, be aggressive, especially when you're down 3. You have nothing to lose.
Just go for it. And that's the thing about it. When a lot of the pressure is kind of taken off of you, you actually do pretty well. A lot of people almost hunt for that, right? They call it the flow state or anything like that. Like getting in the zone as well is a whole different aspect, and learning how to reach that level of calmness where even with pressure on the line, you're able to kind of draw out that consistent team play. It's a whole different field as right now Pyre is just having a ball, the first goal of their own, but the 5th for UTD Green.
It's about 2 or 3 times, Orbital, where I've seen them play backwards. They're not afraid to use the entire space of the pitch. You know, sometimes you get so far forward and so focused on the offensive side of the ball, trying to push in the forward direction towards your opponent's net, and not always the right decision here. But AXD, another prime example of just, you know, reading the play at face value, and then realizing that with all this pitch space currently and where your players are positioned, which is typically pretty conservative right now. Despite their 5 goals in this game, they've been pretty conservative and just taking advantage of Tarleton, putting them into awkward spots, making them feel like a defensive challenge is going to be insurmountable. They have been really incredible at forcing the hands of Tarleton State Purple in this game, and it's a completely different field than we had in game number 1. And UTD Green proves why this organization, why this program is so successful and has been so successful, has been one of the pioneers, true pioneers of collegiate esports. They're putting it on display here in this game too.
I think they're going to continue to do so. I'm starting to see where we get that 3-1 scoreline, right? This feeling of UTD Green just feeling out how the match is going to go and coming back in a pretty handed spot right now with a minute under the clock, and you can see it, right? UTD Green doing kind of the same thing that Tarleton had earlier, saying, you know, we have 5 goals, we don't have to force anything, we just play smart, we don't have to go aggressive, and really just kind of letting this ball drag in the air. And it's something that I think a lot of teams do want to aim for. Right now, a little bit of kick, 30 seconds left. We'll see if they actually choose to go for it. Pyre with a long kick.
taking that time off the clock. I absolutely agree with you, Orbital, here. You know, UTD Green has been playing a lot more conservatively. I think AXT rather, has been really teaching this team new things, which is just being patient with it, just being so relaxed in these situations and forcing their hands. And yet again, here we see UTD Green able to respond here. We knew it was going to be a close series overall. Again, we have it here as it's even at 1 here. UTD Green needs you. Everybody needs to be on board. And you know, whether you go for that team play feel or whether you're required to go for some solo plays, if they're going to give you enough space for them, either way, you have to contribute. Because if you go for the solo plays, guess what? It still needs a full team effort. You still need somebody out in front to get a bump to free up that space to begin with, or demo on the back lines. That way you have free space to work from your defensive side. We'll see if they can get it done. We'll see if they can have that answer. UTD Green did a great job of it. And Tarleton State, now their opportunity to perhaps prove us wrong, that they can bounce back into this one with a head of steam. Right now, UTD Green, prime opportunity. AXT going to launch his shot here, and even though it was wide, Pyre directly on it again. Nobody to challenge here from Tarleton State. The FitJack now, great pass out of the zone. They'll play high. This one will hit off back wall. AXT having some trouble finding it. It'll pop high for Eugen as well. That shot going to be denied. Followed up, though, another shot there to the far side post. And UTD Green just couldn't challenge in time.
No, that was a fast set of attacks that you saw right there that really juggled them out of control. UTD Green, I can't even fault you for that one, right? You threw 2 defenders in there, and both of them got pulled away from the goal, and Tarleton had that one mapped out. I wouldn't be surprised if that's been in their playbook for quite some time.
No doubt. And you go to those plays, you have those plays. Just in case you need to chalk something up, it's all about the rotations there. When you get on the offensive side, you know, it's very tempting to kind of fall back into rotation, especially if you don't have a lot of boost and grab 100 boost, but instead, you know, sticking into that play is going to make all the difference here for them early. And you can't get complacent. You can't get out of the play just because you're in on the boost, just because you're not the next one in rotation. Doesn't mean that you don't need to be here right now. FitJack shot far post. Ooh, he tried to thread the needle, almost did, but Eugen couldn't do enough to distract that last defender, and UTD Green will at least keep it within 1.
I like it. I like the aggression. That was very, very fun, and seeing these kind of snap shots. And again, after being treated to the early game aggression in game number 1, I'm kind of missing it, right? I'm kind of missing these fast breaks, these attempts, these consistent aggressive strikes that may or may not have quality to them, right? You know what? Quality's good. Don't get me wrong. I like quality shots. I like quality plays. Sometimes there's just something about over-aggressive players that throw caution to the wind and just fire off shots left and right.
It's my weakness, I will say. Look at that bump. Almost his face. But it's so true. Like, it gets in your head. Sometimes you get flustered. And even at the highest level of play, if you're just going at it, even if it seems brainless to some degree when you're playing against it, it's honestly effective. It can throw you off. Esports, no matter what title you're talking about, is always a mental game. And so, you know, it can really mess with you. Right now, that aggression has been the only solution. That shot off 2 bars, but he sticks with it right there in the box. That's staying with the play, and Skippy able to make it 2-0.
I want to see if this actually was a forced stop or not. That's just a gentle tap. So well played. You called it, right? Following up on your own play, making sure it happens. Tarleton saw the opportunity, and UTD Green kind of kicking themselves there. I think they got bumped out a little bit, but other than that, they just kind of left the goalposts open. No one was in rotation back, and now they got to fight back. They got 2 minutes to make up 2 goals, which they have done. I could easily see them doing so. But Tarleton, we know what happens whenever they get ahead. UTD Green says, not that far ahead.
That's right. Can't get complacent because you know they're on the doorstep. They prove that they can score goals in bunches. We saw it last time, and that play doesn't happen if Pyre doesn't get out and get that bump to clean up the way. That shot had basically no velocity on it, but you use your teammates. You utilize yourself, not only sticking in the play to get your own goal like we saw in the last sequence, Orbital. It's also about staying in the play whenever you're out of rotation instead of just rotating back and around. Why not get a bump first and allow the opportunity for that shot to be free? And that's why we see UTD Green inching their way back. And Tarleton State Purple, that's why you build a lead. There's still 1:42 left in this one, but a lot of the time has ticked off the clock. In this particular game, goals have come at a premium, but I doubt they've done enough, especially when you see UTD Green getting right back at it and playing that aggressive style that you love to see.
I mean, UTD Green just, you know, what can we do? What can we go for? And I mean, I generally say it's, you know, to be on the safe side of making a goal, you want to have about 30 to 40 seconds, right? Safe side is there. We've seen people kind of get it under, you know, the 30-second time, but 30 to 40 is what you want. Queue up a couple runs, you know, make sure you get a couple attack patterns in. That's what you have to play with. At the current moment, it's winding down. You had about a minute 10, but everyone able to control that ball with the low roll in front, good punt out. Yujin says not a moment to lose. Skippy now running interference, and I mean, Tarleton, they're right back to the same style. Stall, we don't have to force anything. Just don't let UTD Green have an easy shot like we just got there.
Such good recognition that you can switch the style of play to, because they weren't going to force anything, but hey, if it's going to fall on my lap at the top of the box, you better believe I'm going to get that insurance goal. In Tarleton State Purple, now feeling good about it. 3-1, 45 seconds left, just need to hold on and just play up, right? Just kill some clock. You never want to play back on your heels. You also don't have to force the issue. Good understanding of the play. We saw a smart play from FitJack in game number 1. Look out, though. UT Dallas right here on the doorstep. They couldn't finish. Tarleton State Purple. Get out with that one. I'm not sure they should have, but they'll definitely count their blessings here.
That was absolutely one of the moments that you're just like, oh, dang. Okay, that's unfortunate. I mean, Tarleton, I don't think are sweating it, but UTD Green going into game number 4 at a 3-2 instead of a, 3-1. It's a whole different ball game, I feel, for the mental aspect. So really liking it here, but Tarleton are really showing their stuff here. This pretty fresh squad that you were talking about, Bearlight, they're showing up here 2-1. Mind of the opponent, you go ahead and say, oh, okay, this is the player we need to start bumping out. We need to start ensuring that we keep track of where Yujin is on the map or on the pitch, and that gives a whole different feel to it. So right now, UTD Green, they have one more chance to kind of fire back, but Yujin is the one to get into a little scrap fest and takes a demo very quickly.
Targeting right off the bat, and from Tarleton State Purple, I'm not losing sight of Pyre either, who's been quite a nuisance, to say the least, when we talk about those bumps demos out in front. Look, though, as one needs to get across. FitJack took a little bit of time to get across, but he was confident. He was able to play it out. Look, Pyre looking for swag. Almost got the adjustment. Pyre now back another pass. A little bit too hot to handle there from AXD. So wise choice to just pull it back down and keep that possession game going. Jack not able to get that one either. I mean, Tarleton State Purple had a great chance to turn it right back around, but instead UTD Green allowed the chance to keep their foot on the gas pedal here.
And I feel like a lot of people would say these are all fakes, dropping the back. I feel like the players are just a little bit behind in terms of speed and understanding where the ball is actually going to land, right? That's about 3 times in a row that we saw multiple people go up for the pass, and they weren't at the right spot. So these questionable moments may or may not be the breaking point, right? A drop pass can mean a fast breakaway for an opponent. These singular carries, though, can also be a massive staple, but good defensive play coming out of Skippy there, ensuring Tarleton do not get scored on right now. And in one of the weirdest segments, we've already lost a minute and a half as the steal comes out for FitJack.
NECC left it on the platter for Pyre, trying to set up a teammate without having to do a whole bunch, except for maybe go out for another bump. Tap down from AXD will do nothing but actually just surrender possession, as Tarleton and Skippy now send it far post. And in fact, Yujin was waiting there for it, but AXD was looking like he was going to attack it, so you don't really know when to challenge. Look at all the space given up. AXD with the flick, and Skippy had to jump up to that top wall position. Typically, that's where you want to be defensively. You got to have somebody on that back wall. Took a little bit of time. Eventually, they got to it, though. AXD looking far side. Skippy already read it.
Oh.
Who left with the demo? That's what I'm talking about with that pesky play. UTD Green all over it again. This will be a tap down. Opportunity
Good.
there. That one almost rainbowed its way in. This will fall back to midfield, and Tarleton will at least be able to escape harm. But I mean, pressure still coming at you for UT Dallas. Another miss, but the shot, no shot. Unfortunately, goes off the side of the car and off to the corner. And Tarleton State, I mean, they're bailing themselves out. They haven't scored yet. UTD Green, that is. But, I mean, it's not feeling great here in the first couple minutes.
This is actually a tense situation that I would hate to be in, right? This is one of those moments where things are tensing up and you're wondering, like, why is nothing really working? And I think that frustration can boil over in a bad way for some players, right? This is both teams actually struggling to get the ball under control and having those opportunities, but that will happen, right? The ball drops right in front. You talked about it right there, Bearlight. You said, hey, a dead ball sometimes can be perfect. It can really just have an opportunity, and there it is. Pyre from midfield steals away a goal for UTD Green.
Yeah, that's right. Pyre was ready, knowing a teammate was going to jump out and support in the demo, AXD. That's right. I was talking about how you don't have to necessarily rotate back, or if you're going to rotate it back, get a demo out first. UTD Green has been the more physical team, and that there's a reason why they've been able to bounce back into this game. And it feels good, too, because it's just about to bring up how UTD Green has had a majority of the pressure. Tarleton State has not looked comfortable at all in this game number 4. And then I was going to shout out, UTD Green and say, you boys, you need to score at some point to make it all this pressure worth it. So eventually they do score. And this might be another opportunity to got a little bit off the mark. Pyre, right, for a nasty angle, couldn't find one there. And the far side post challenge will not do a whole lot. Tarleton State will get out of the zone, but all they do at that point is just give away possession again. Tarleton State seems so flustered that their only solution is to get back, but FitJack gonna shut me up there with a quick equalizer as they do end up using that clear, and it looked like Swag was gonna get a touch on it. Same with Pyre. Those little mistakes, those little misses. Now you see just the implications of that.
I mean, I talked about it before, right? Those tense moments, these tense sets of games cause problems. That ball should never get past 2 like that. That is almost criminal. What just happened? Tarleton feel like they were just gifted by an angel a goal, and UTD Green have got to be sweating. You do not want to give a goal over like that with a minute left to spare. You can see him getting a little bit more aggressive, trying to push the limits here, and that's going to be a chance. They drew out the defenders, and Swag FTW scores a 1-up.
Pyre got incredibly tense on that play and actually missed, and it served as a fake that time around. And Swag, rather than feeling sorry for himself, sorry for his team that Pyre wasn't able to touch it, stayed in the play, got up there, the aggression pays off, and whether you wanted to miss that one or not, you still were able to take at least a little bit of a benefit from it. Now with 32 seconds left, just have to hold on. But Tarleton State, they are just gifted their only goal in this one, so it doesn't feel great, but you still press forward. Now a bump leaves it awkward. Skippy used the top side of his car to flip it in forward. 17 seconds left. FitJack, back wall, he'll go. Eugen tried to settle it down, but you left it to UTD Green, and we're under 10 seconds now. It'll be a shot taken a little bit high, looking for insurance. So bounce back down, time running out, and UTD Green in full control in the driver's seat. They try to keep it up, and right now they will, but eventually it'll hit the ground. UT Dallas Green able to force a game number 5. You need to at least involve everybody there. Find a way to get Eugen involved. As Tarleton State Purple, they performed so well when he was there. FitJack trying to get out to that quick start. Here's Eugen putting a shot on early. They try to get him involved right off the bat.
All right, well, I already like this. The first 15 seconds have already showed me a lot more speed in this game. Players willing to accelerate, willing to kind of run out of that boost and try and keep a hold over. Now challenges on opposite sides of the field. I already like this pacing, right? I do like this kind of setup. Maybe not so many fakes as well. Just go pure and clean on the gameplay. Just trying to rush that ball if you can. Skippy goes up into the mid. 50 bounces a different way and is going to be a little bit high into the corner. Tarleton, though, FitJack tries to send it up, rolls it right in front of the net, and this time I'm kind of okay with it. UTD Green gonna try and send it away.
The challenge is coming so much quicker. Tarleton State Purple has been so aggressive and has been turning at the right moments too. They don't hesitate anymore. That's what we wanted to see from them. That's what we've been dying to see from them. And I'm sure the coaches said the exact same thing. That might be one of the reasons why it took a little bit longer to get in this game. Perhaps they were able to talk it down a little bit before this one. They also had a prime opportunity there as it bounced back down into the box. Eugen will try to challenge there as well, but nothing doing. Pyre challenged again. You see how quickly FitJack is on that wall to get in their face, to not allow them these opportunities. That's the type of pace, that's the type of speed we were talking about, Orbital. As Eugen jumps across, kind of cut off his man there. Maybe he had a little bit more boost in the tank, although he's going to grab the 100 on the way out to try and make sure that's the thing. Eugen sticking on the play again, but look, nobody back. UT Dallas now just chomps at it. They get away with their lives.
That was set up pretty dang well by UTD. I haven't seen a setup play from them in quite some time, right? They haven't had the opportunity. We've seen them just kind of mad scrambling. It's been a moment since we've seen setups on either side, so UTD Green starting to get their handle back in the game. Talked about that difference, that setup, and the speed factor, having confidence in your shots. That's one of those. You can see when they're willing to set up plays, give themselves a chance. It's good. Current moment though, Tarleton still trying to fight back in their own way. Eugen literally sitting in midfield, hunting, not even going for some of these, right? You can literally see it.
Yep.
Not going for these balls, literally hunting and waiting for their opportunity, and that was almost it, but it was well read by UTD Green.
Yeah, they were able to just touch it out to the side. Now look at transition, they'll work. Shot taken!
Oh.
AXD threaded the needle. Just a little bit of a change up there, if you will. As he pulled it back down, Skippy a little late to the challenge, and it looked harmless, but it does hit that crossbar, goes in, and gives UT Dallas this 1-0 lead.
I mean, Eugen as well missed timing that. Maybe picked up the pace a little bit too far, but I mean, well played. UTD Green finds an opportunity. Good block, though. Again, one goal, not that big of a deal, right? We've seen it before. Yes, these teams may get a little bit flustered, but I would honestly say these two teams shouldn't worry about one goal differences. When we start seeing 2 or 3 from UTD Green, that I get a little bit scared. However, the likes of Tarleton, I expect them to be able to fight back. I expect them to go ahead and find an opportunity for themselves that they can break away from their side of the field. Oh, no. Oh,
what?
My gosh, that was almost a dead ball again, and now a high flyer Pyre. It wasn't going in anyway, but collecting and trying to get back. Now set up in front of the goal. UTD Green get back just in time.
Oh, my. I mean, missed opportunity. Very, very great opportunity there for UTD Green, and they just basically fumbled it. But they were able to get back and make up for their mistakes by getting a great defensive challenge there before Tarleton State was able to turn destruction into more misery for UTD Green, but able to bail themselves out on the defensive side and keep themselves at this 1-0 lead. So it wouldn't have been the end of the world, no, but to give Tarleton State the opportunity here. Because, I mean, think about it. Right now, Tarleton State really feels like they're chasing the game. It feels like time's ticking so much quicker, especially when you're chasing the game here with 1:07 left. And only a few opportunities left. They'll only be able to go end-to-end just a couple times. Orbital, every single touch must matter at this point.
And it's slowed down again a little bit, right? It's been more challenging. Don't get me wrong, they have, but it feels like it's still slowing down. We need to see almost those individuals start to step up. We talked about the fact that Tarleton wants to have a little bit more impact, and sometimes the ways to do that is to coordinate with your team, get more than 44 points. However, there are times where a single player just kind of has to step up, and look at this, right? Skippy trying to roll the ball for a teammate, punts it out to the left side, and now you're kind of chasing by. Swag watches the ball flies over the head. Teammate goes ahead and picks it up. Now Skippy gathers it into the middle once again. Good kick out by Pyre, and it's going to head right back. You got 1 or 2 more runs. As you were saying, Bearlight, you want to see Tarleton be able to tie it up.
It seems like they're doing way too much right now, but you can't simplify your gameplay at this point in time. It's too late. You only have a couple more chances, maybe one, as this now ticks down almost under 10 seconds. Fitjack back wall, an extra touch will elude one defender. It falls back down to the ground. Bumped by Eugen, shot taken high. Oh, it's off the crossbar. They'll have one opportunity as it stays in the air, and Eugen now, unfortunately, off the bottom side of his car. UTD Green will win this series in 5, just holding on to their 1-0 lead.